Yo, what up, everybody? Crypto Oki. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So I'm going to talk about Litecoin again. I guess I might just do Litecoin here. I'll probably talk about a few other coins, but I just want to really hone in and focus on Litecoin. Here's the daily chart that we're looking at. Green line's a 200 moving average, which has been pretty decent in the history of Litecoin. Just to kind of, we obviously want to be above it. We want the slope to be going up. Here it kept us out for a long time before getting us in. It was a little choppy, but once it turned up, it's a pretty good indicator, as it is with most charts. We have this kind of descending wedge kind of action. I wonder where this could go. What if it connects here, actually? Oh, that's kind of interesting. Probably bring it out over here a little more. Ooh, I kind of like that, actually. So, from this low point, we're talking over a year, 384 days. From the high, I wonder if this was October 10th. That was that big liquidation event, 275. And that's what's crazy about Litecoin. I was so sure, I'm sure I was, when it was breaking this top, that we were going higher, and then bam. So that's interesting. So that's that October 10th day that really began the bear market. But anyway, so, we have a good amount of touches. I kind of like that it's not too much white space, but we've hit this line a few times. We're within distance here, so let's see what kind of formation we make. Hopefully break out this, hit the 200, kind of pull back and go higher. We will see. I'm just reading some stuff, which I've kind of looked back, but that Litecoin halving is in 1 year. It's in July, so some things say it's had good history around that time, 1 year out. So we'll see. But here's that. Let's just look at some other ones. The weekly doesn't look that great, but again, we're seeing some signs of life. We're not going down anymore, which is a good sign, I guess. The CMF on the weekly has been rising. Definitely some bullish divergence here. Now the monthly looks like crap on almost all cryptos, so that's tough. And this was actually a great indicator to show. It's one I ignored too much, to be honest. But when it was breaking in October, November, I still had hope it would go higher, but this really showed we were going lower, so we'll see. But it has tended to mark the bottom, so it's not like when it is at its lowest, it's kind of been the bottom. So it's just one of many, but it's one of my favorites for sure. And then if we let's look at the RSI. Not much going on there, but we are creating almost bullish divergence. We got something like that. So this stochastic. It could be better. I would like it to see something more like this. Which is kind of crazy. It spiked up so high on just that 1 week or so. we just haven't had many. We haven't had Litecoin has not been good for a long time. At best, it's just been sideways. Um, so it's hard to kind of look at in a sense. But if we put some more moving averages, um, kind of see there. Work to do, work to do. But I like this formation. Um, looks pretty clear to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll see. We'll see. But what that's been I'm fine with that. But again, the best, kind of the confluence here is the against the pairs. So XRP, it looks the strongest against XRP, above all the moving averages. Hopefully these can turn up and kind of push it up. Still hoping to get above 41.5, but this one seems to be looking pretty good to me. Yeah, I think we could easily just get back up to this level. So it could, 3x XRP pretty easily. We'd like to see a little bit, we got this left. We need to get the right. So it might take some time. Going into year end, early 2027, where it really takes off. But it could, spike up to this 50 area. But it could just go up higher because look, it just took like 3 or 4 weeks. This thing dropped like a rock, so it could do the same thing on the way up. So yeah, I would, in my opinion, I mean, you never know, but I would definitely be holding Litecoin over XRP. And that would change if it broke below this 35 level. Next is Bitcoin. And again, kind of a descending wedge, just getting tighter and tighter. This week we kind of came down. It looks like into the weekend we're growing a little bit. Every once in a while, I kind of think Litecoin can have decent weekends. I'm not sure if that's even true or not. Like sometimes Litecoin has better weekends than other coins. Let's look at the 200. The 200's up there, but so yeah, it's up there. Hopefully this kind of rounds. Can break the blue line, break the wedge, and kind of go higher here. So that's what I'm looking at against Bitcoin. And then on the flip side, you don't really want to break this. Yeah, I wouldn't want to break this level. Too many touches, it could really fall. I don't think we're getting another touch and higher. So we'll see. But we have a fair amount of touches on each side, the high side and the low side. So, and just with the confluence of the USD pair, the XRP, I think something's happening soon. It's just been coiled for so long. Let's count that. Let's see how long this one's going. Something like 220 days. About 27, 260, 27. It's almost a year. So yeah, I mean, again, kind of similar. The XRP is a little longer. Here's the ETH, LTC ETH, which also looks pretty good. We're on the bottom of the trend line, but we've held this week. So yeah, each one has its own little wrinkle. It's like XRP, LTC XRP looks the best. Clearly, we have the symmetrical triangle, and we're up at the top. LTC ETH probably looks the second best. same kind of symmetrical triangle, but we're at the bottom. And then Bitcoin probably looks possibly the weakest, although it's descending wedge, but we're kind of in the middle. So, see, I mean, we're above the 200. No, we're below it. Sorry. We're just below the 200 moving average, but it's flat. So anything above this, we could go higher. So I'm liking that. Let me see if we put any. Weekly CMOF here is looking good. And we have a double bottom type structure here with ETH. I can play that nice. Our side not really giving us much, but we want to get above 55, 60, of course. Let's look at the Litecoin Bitcoin. I wonder if that's interesting. It was really right. It's interesting also, it's just rising. So I don't know how much to put stock in this because, you know, if you bought here, according to the indicator, you've done shit. So I'm not sure there. Let's see if we have another Bitcoin. Similar. So I'm not too sure. But again, here's your charts. You got the Litecoin XRP, Litecoin Bitcoin, Litecoin ETH. That's fine. Let's see. Let me see. This is crazy. This is why you hold Bitcoin, though. I mean, this, you know, you outperform every once in a while, but it's really hard. It is really hard. You know, but I do think it's the time. You know, every once in a while it's time. It really hasn't been I mean, I think Litecoin could literally go up against Bitcoin something like, you know, 400, 300 to 500%. It would not surprise me. It really wouldn't. Back into this 0.0027 area, give or take. That seems very plausible to me. Or even if you just hit the 200-week moving average, which sometimes that happens. That's a 100% move against Bitcoin. So we'd hope that would be in a bull market type structure. Look at and then here again, I think we could go back to this 0.05 area. Should give us something like 100% move. And then with Ripple, against Ripple, I could see it, going up 200%. I can definitely see all those things happening. Now, what it would mean for this chart would be interesting. I mean, we've just been so capped, under 150 since January of 2022. So essentially 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26. 5 years? Oh my goodness. And we really have been. And then the lower boundary's been capped at about 40. So, I mean, with cryptos, I just don't see it coming up to this line and coming back down again. Well, I probably would have set that up here too, but very interesting. $240 weeks, so 5 years almost in this consolidation. You don't see that much. Usually they just bleed out or, more volatile. So that's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I've been all over Litecoin. I've been wrong. Hopefully, I'm right soon. Um, just to probably come back to it, but just a quick check. Ave's looking pretty decent to me. Um, broke the channel up, retested it. Inge is looking pretty decent to me. Above the 200 with a retest. ICP broke, but it's not looking as good as I thought, to be honest. I think it's just too early. There. Look at ETH, pretty decent. I do think ETH outperforms Bitcoin soon, too. Here's that. We almost had a bullish engulfing, but it doesn't matter too much. We need to break this upper channel line, get back up to 0.0315. Yeah, I would like us to get above this 3.0035 area. Yeah. And break this upper band as well, which has held us since. This would be really crazy to break out. We've never broken out above this since 2022 as well. So yeah, I'm seeing Litecoin doing well. I'm seeing ETH doing well. A few of these other, more sporadic tokens that are going to be a little bit harder to figure out why or what they're doing, but that will be interesting. I still think this breaks down. I don't know when, but I think it is. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I really want to focus on Litecoin mostly and kind of see how this plays out. It's been pretty terrible, but you never know. And then if we're looking against the order book, seeing some red here, which has been a pretty good indicator that it's going to roll over. As you can see, the green it's pretty respective. The order book's a pretty good indicator for this asset. Hit it here, bam, here, bam. You're seeing it here as it kind of grinds higher. This is a short chart, but on the flip side, if we could ever go higher in even with some of this red, it could be a good sign. But we're on the weekend, so I wouldn't expect much. But it could have a decent weekend. But this could kind of have a rising wedge. So that's usually slightly bearish, but you never know, something like that. But it's very short, so do we dump over going into next week? Possibly create some sort of a right shoulder here. We did turn around at the end of last week, so let's see how this goes. And then, of course, we'll keep following it as it relates to the big three. Let's see if we can get above the 200-day here. Because I think once you get above this, you'll hit this again. And then we'll have a chance to go higher. And then here as well. Here, I do like this line because it has a lot of touches, but we need to come up maybe form a bigger head and shoulders here. And if this is in late July, early August, it could be at the 200 day as well. So that looks pretty decent. And then, of course, this one's the best. We're already almost at the upper band. So we'll want to see above 41.5. All right, everybody. Well, there it is. The Litecoin rundown. Let's go.